The astronauts were repairing the communication control panel, but the screws had frozen in the space environment. With no other choice, the two decided to forcefully pry open the panel. Suddenly, the panel cracked, and the man nearly drifted into the vastness of space. What made matters worse was that his spacesuit had been punctured, and oxygen was leaking at an alarming rate. Corey quickly pulled him back into the spacecraft. However, as the two were about to enter the airlock, the man noticed that Corey's spacesuit was covered in contaminants. If he entered the spacecraft now, the air inside would also be contaminated. Seeing that the man was about to suffocate from oxygen deprivation, Corey hesitated not a moment and pushed the man into the cabin, while he himself drifted into the vastness of space. As the spacecraft grew increasingly distant, Corey left his final words to the captain.
I thought I was trying to do something great for mankind.
The IT turned out that the astronauts had been ordered by scientists to search for extraterrestrial life. Soon, the spacecraft reached Jupiter's orbit. However, at that moment, the spacecraft suddenly began to shake violently. A fierce solar storm was approaching, and the intense disturbances damaged the spacecraft's communication systems, completely severing contact with Earth. Immediately afterward, the crew members began landing on Europa in the landing module. However, as soon as they touched down, the spacecraft was hit by a violent tremor. The movement of heat sources beneath Europa's icy surface suggested that life might exist underground. The captain ordered an immediate evacuation, intending to bring the data back to Earth. However, another accident occurred. The spacecraft's booster failed to provide sufficient thrust during takeoff, and all attempts to recover the situation were futile. To mitigate the impact during descent, the captain risked his life to activate the water shield, but he himself was killed in the process. The spacecraft lost all power, and they could no longer return to Earth. More critically, the impact had damaged the ice layer, leaving them at risk of plunging into the ocean at any moment. As the spacecraft slowly began to sink from the ice surface, numerous glowing objects approached them. Suddenly, a scream came from their teammates outside, and communication with the woman was lost. The girl knew she was about to sink into the ocean, so she opened the cockpit door, allowing the surveillance camera to capture the glowing creature and send the truth back to Earth. In the final moments before the spacecraft was submerged, a luminous creature appeared, which was also the last image transmitted back to Earth. All 6 crew members on board perished.